G'day there, we're interviewing Virgil Donati and he's down doing a tour at the moment down in Tassie, so here we go. How you going, mate?
I'm doing great.
That's good.
Just finished warming up for the big show tonight.
That's fantastic. First question is, how did the whole idea of this Soul Down Under tour come about?
Well, Frank, who's the senior or the managing editor of Drum Tin magazine, Frank and I had a chat on the phone about 8-9 months ago, and we discussed the possibility of putting something together. Yep. It had been about 15 years or more since we'd done anything like this in Australia.
Cool.
And that was around the time just before I moved to the US, so we thought it was due to do another one.
Yep.
And we put it together, and here we are in Tasmania.
Sweet. The next question is, what drives you in life, and what's your secret to become one of the best drummers of today?
I'm a self-driven person, I think. That would probably be the best way to describe it. It's difficult to know where the inspiration and that continual motivation comes from. There's just an internal fire, a drive that always inspires me to improve and to keep moving forward, you know. I never feel content and satisfied where I am, so and that gives me my purpose in life, you know. I just wake up every day, it's a new day, new challenges, and I look at it that way, and that gives me all the motivation I need to move forward with my work.
So how old were you when you went to the States the first time?
The first time I went to the States, I was 19.
Yep. And what was it like going over there, doing what you do? Did you feel like you accomplished everything you could at the time in Australia?
Oh no, I was still very young here. I'd already had a lot of experience on the road. I mean, I was on the road with various bands from a very, very young age, you know, and from the age of 14 or 15. And first time I went was a tour of discovery, really. You know, I wanted to try and meet musicians, play with them, take lessons from some of my heroes, including Philly Joe Jones and some other people I had lessons with, and I eventually moved back to Australia after 18 months, and my career then blossomed. You know, I started playing with some really great acts here, and eventually I moved back in my mid-30s.
Yeah.
And I've been there since.
Yep. So where do you live? LA, is it?
Yeah, in LA.
Cool. What do you like to do when you're not drumming or touring?
I like to keep fit. You know, I'm an outdoors person, so I get out and run. You know, love beaches. So I go swim, run on the beach, whatever. You know, just something to get me out of the darkness of the studios and
stages.
Yeah, and also enjoy computers. You know, I'm always trying to learn a little more about that side of things. I'm a bit of a geek.
That's cool. What's your earliest memory of wanting to play the drums?
Well, coming from a musical family, it was easy. I mean, there was always music around the house. There were rehearsals. My dad's bands, you know, always coming over to play, and I would adamantly want to be part of it. You know, just sitting down in a corner and listening, and I was very interested, intrigued, and I guess I had this innate feeling for music, and I would tap along, and eventually my parents realised that I really had a love for music, and I had a feel for it. So they bought me my first drum set before I even turned 3. That's where it all began, and here we are today, still playing away. Yeah.
Cool. Last question. What has been the highlight of your career today?
Many highlights, but I guess an important crossroad in my life was the time I moved to the US, and that really reignited my career. I'd reached a certain level in Australia, and really didn't know how else to push forward other than making the big move. moved there, and since then I've played with some of the greatest players on the planet, and that in itself is a highlight for me. And I couldn't pick one in particular, but having worked with, you know, the likes of, you know, McAlpine, Vi, Holsworth, or, you know, many great guitar players, a lot of the great bass players, and keyboard players, and the list goes on and on. That's a highlight.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, we'd like to thank, on behalf of Barris Music, we'd like to thank Virgil for letting us be a part of this tour, and hope it all goes well tonight.
Thank you.
Thanks, mate.